And I'm going to share with you what we have seen to be the biggest difference between the two. And no, it's not grades. It's not the typical things that we're taught are the difference makers. And the reason why I'm saying that is because literally as I'm doing this training, we have coached students that have started out with a 2.4 GPA, right? Literally after graduating college, having a 2.4 GPA. And even the student that I'm thinking of right now is currently a physical therapist.
It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go! Turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the
Hey, what is up? How you doing? My name is Joseph Ngugi. I'm a physical therapist, also one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Ground, where we help you get into your dream school. You become a physical therapist without wasting time or money. So if you want to be a PT, if you want to be a physical therapist, and you're like, I don't know where to start, I don't know what to do, I don't know what my next steps should be, you are on the right page. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this training and share it out with your friends. And then, of course, just binge. Like, we have a lot of content and a lot of value that's going to help you get one step closer to your dream. So if you enjoy this, then be sure to binge on all of our other content that we continue to drop every single week. But in this training, I want to talk about the most important difference that we have noticed between students that do well and get to their dream schools. So we'll call those successful pre-PTs. So those are students that are able to ultimately make their dream come true, right? And become a physical therapist, right? And unsuccessful pre-PTs. So those are students that eventually give up on their dream or pull the plug or say, hey, I don't know if there's another way out. And they basically find another path in life, even though their dream was to become a physical therapist. So let's call the first one successful pre-PT. Let's call the second one unsuccessful pre-PT. And I'm going to share with you what we have seen to be the biggest difference between the two. And no, it's not grades. It's not the typical things that we're taught are the difference makers. And the reason why I'm saying that is because literally as I'm doing this training, we have coached students that have started out with a 2.4 GPA, right? Literally after graduating college, having a 2.4 GPA. And even the student that I'm thinking of right now is currently a physical therapist, right? So eventually, yes, we help them get into school and all that. But if they're a physical therapist today, then there's something they did differently that most people don't quite understand, because most advisors would typically tell you, if you have a GPA that low, they would typically tell you it's impossible, you'll never stand out, you'll never be a good enough applicant. And that's just not the truth. So it's not necessarily where you're at right now. It's not necessarily your grades right now. That's not the biggest difference maker. The biggest difference between successful and unsuccessful pre-PTs is focus on intention and control versus focus on distractions and what you can't control. So the first one is what successful students do. The second one is what unsuccessful students do. So let's talk about them, right? So intention and control. So students that are successful and end up realizing their dream, one of the first things that they understand within this is the fact that there's always a next step, right? Like, there is always a way out. Like, if you have a low grade, if you struggle with standardized exams, whatever your challenges are, there's always a next move. Like you don't get to a point where you're like, I don't know what to do next. Like, there is always something you can do. And I think just hearing that for many of you is just great, because now you're like, okay, if there's always something I can do, I just got to go figure out what that thing is, right? But in relation to this topic, intention and control is so important, because students that say, you know what, I am going to be intentional about everything that I do moving forward. And I'm also realizing that my energy needs to go towards the things that I have control over. So ask yourself, what are the things right now in your application process that you actually have control over, right? Is that being able to retake a class? Is that being able to ask somebody for help? Is it being able to find a community of people that you can basically rock with and be inspired by, right? What are the things that you can control? Can you control who you listen to? Like, what are the things that are in your control? Because the most successful students that we have seen, the ones that end up realizing their dream, that's what they do differently. Like, they focus on intention and what they can control. So are you being intentional about everything you do as a pre-PT, or do you feel like a victim? Do you feel like things are happening to you, right? So that's the first group. The second group is the unsuccessful pre-PTs. So the unsuccessful ones, as we said before, are the ones that eventually quit on themselves, right? Notice I did not say that they don't qualify or they never become good enough. I said they quit on themselves, right? Because one thing that we say over and over is that the only way you don't get into your dream school, the only way you don't realize your dream is by pulling the plug, is by quitting. Like, so if you decide to quit, then that's basically you saying, you know what, I'm done trying, right? I'm willing to do something else that I'm less passionate about, as opposed to figuring out how to battle through my biggest obstacles and make my dream come true. So unsuccessful pre-PTs focus on distractions. So ask yourself, are the things that, like, how do you manage your time? Like, do you spend more time doing things that are not getting you closer to your dream? Things that maybe throw you off your game, maybe talking to people that make you feel down, maybe spending most of your energy, watching TV shows, movies, things that are actually not serving your dream, right? Those are distractions. Maybe you're also focusing on things that you can't control, right? Like think about what you actually focus on. Are they things that you can actually do something about or not? Because if there's something that you can't, if you can't go back in time and change what already happened, like let's say that you had a semester where you had like a 2.5 GPA, right? You can't go back in time and change that. All you can do is say, okay, what can I do moving forward to improve that? If that's retaking classes, now we're talking about things we can control, as opposed to focusing and stressing about stuff that we can't control. So the reason why I did this training is because for those of you who are listening, for you who are listening right now, right? I want you to ask yourself, where is most of my time and focus going? Is most of my time and focus going towards things that are getting me closer to my dream? Is it going towards things that I can actually control and do something about? Are you actually doing something about, like when you know what you should be doing, are you actually doing it? Right? And are you being intentional about everything, right? Or are you spending most of your time on distractions, things that are drawing you away from your dream, things that are increasing your doubt in yourself, things that are kind of numbing everything out so that you don't have to feel as, stuck as you really are, right? As opposed to saying, what can I control? Who can I find to help me navigate through these areas so that I can get closer to my dream? Y'all, that's a big difference. So ask yourself, who am I being right now? Am I being a student that is basically setting myself up to eventually potentially quit? Or am I setting myself up to be a student that always feels more confident, more certain? I know there's a next step. I know what I can control. I'm actually taking action on it. And because of that, I'm actually building self-trust in myself because I keep showing up for myself. And that's a question you just have to ask yourself. And if you are being the student that is not intentional, if you are being the unsuccessful pre-PT, if you are getting in your own way, if you're spending time on distractions, then you have a choice to make. You have to ask yourself, am I willing to choose to become, to basically take on the habits or the patterns of the successful pre-PT or not? Right? Because that's a choice that you can make right now. Right now, at this moment, you can change your mind and say, you know what? I'm going to shift how I do everything. I'm going to shift who I listen to. I'm going to shift the level of intention that I take. I'm going to shift what I focus on because I understand that what I focus on expands, right? So whatever I spend most of my energy on, that's all I start to see. And if I see things that are making me feel like I'm never going to get into a school, then I'm going to feel more anxious, more anxiety. I'm going to do less activities that will get me closer to my dream. But if I'm focusing on the best case scenario, if I'm focusing on ways to get better, if I'm focusing on being around the right people, then what happens is I feel more capable and my actions also fall in line with that. So it all becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It all starts with where you place your focus. So over the years that we've taught students, over the years that we've coached students, that has been the biggest difference. What are you focusing on? And is it getting you closer to your dream or is it drawing you away from your dream. That is it. That is all I wanted to share with you. I hope that was valuable. And if you're like, you know what, like, how can I learn more? Then we have plenty of trainings on this platform already that you can start binging on. And then also, if you want more, go to ptschoolacceptance.com. We have some of our best resources there for you to just get started and get moving in the right direction. But do not pull the plug. If you genuinely want to be a physical therapist, if this is your dream, don't let anything get in your way. Don't even let yourself get in your way. Don't let your mind get in your way. Don't let your surroundings get in your way. So I hope you enjoyed that. Once again, if you enjoyed this training, be sure to like, subscribe, share this out with your friends, and we will see you on the next training. Have a blessed one. Bye.